Now, a Democratic whistleblower told the FBI that Adam Schiff approved leaking classified information in order to discredit President Donald Trump, according to newly released documents. Now, the documents, which are obtained by Just the News, were recently handed over to Congress by FBI Director Kash Patel, and according to the report, the intelligence staffer called the leaking treasonous and illegal. CJ, what more can you tell us about this?
I think what we need to do is take a hard look at this. And I think the DOJ under this president will do exactly that. Under the previous administration, we saw a weaponization of justice unlike anything we have ever seen before. But as we continue to uncover, as Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and many other in the FBI continue to look for, is corruption unlike anything that the American people could ever imagine. And so I think that these people need to be held accountable. Investigations need to ensue. And I hope that, justice will be as fair, as aggressive as it was under the previous administration. And if it is, I think folks like Adam Schiff will be held to account, and rightfully so.
Now, there are reports that the Trump administration and Harvard University are close to reaching a settlement of $500 million. According to the New York Times, White House negotiators have made significant progress in their discussions with the university. Now, CJ, this of course comes after the Trump administration froze more than $2 billion in funding to Harvard and threatened to revoke its tax-exempt status due to Harvard and other universities' failure to address anti-Semitism.
I think, we say this thing in Gen Z, it's make their pockets hurt. I think this president has certainly learned how to do just that. And I think that's the only way these institutions are going to learn with their incredible billion-dollar endowment funds, right? And so I think there is no place for anti-Semitism in this country. There's no place for anti-Semitism on our college campuses. But also, too, let's go back to just a few years ago. These college campuses are not just breeding grounds for anti-Semitism, but they're breeding grounds for anti-Americanism, anti-Western civilization. And so I think it's long past these universities learn their lesson. And I love to see a president fighting so hard to bring that lesson out.
Finally, I've got to talk about Sydney Sweeney again. It's the story or the advertisement, I guess, that just keeps going. It never ends. But a new Economist YouGov poll found that up to 12% of Americans found Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle ad campaign offensive. We have played some of the reactions and the insane reactions from lefties crying about it on TikTok. We played that here in our show a couple of weeks ago. But CJ, 12%. I mean, who are these people that find Sydney Sweeney, her hot, sexy ad, offensive? Surely we could all be celebrating that hotness is back.
Gabriella, all I have to say is I want you to imagine what this 12% of people look like. And I think we can go from there.
It's a fair point. CJ Pearson, it is great to speak with you. Thanks so much for joining us on Power Hour.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.